Okay. And then they should. Right.
What platform is that?
It's like a recording thing.
It's called OBS, right?
Yeah.
Name of the program.
So is the microphone on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You might have to refresh now. It should be there.
Okay.
There it is.
Oh, there you go. And then
So is the
here
microphone on?
Yeah.
we could do a. There you go. And then
Is the
here.
microphone on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just share now?
And then maybe do ITIN.
Whatever you want to call it.
Just share now. And then maybe do ITIN.
Might do a little
Whatever
bit.
you want to call it.
Just share now. And then maybe do ITIN.
Should I start sharing it again?
Yeah. You're going to use the other link.
Oh yeah, I have it charging.
The
That's
link
right.
that we set up the appointment with?
Yeah, I'm in that one.
Okay.
Okay, so I should be on. And then you could hit these two to turn on this body instead.
Hello, everyone. We're just getting set up now. We should be starting in the next few minutes. We'll let some people join the Zoom meeting, and then we can kind of go over some things. Thank you.
Oh, this would be great for you. Perfect connection. And they brought a
Now it's
outstanding
live.
breakfast. I'll go grab it real quick
YouTube
before we
and
start.
Facebook.
Okay, great. Thank you. And then this we probably put it over here. Because we'll probably stand right here.
It's right here.
Or am I in the way?
Trying to see it.
Oh, got you. Right here.
Yeah.
Let's pull it back a little bit.
Can you zoom out a little bit? No, the camera.
This one?
Oh.
There.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
No, I think it's feeding off of the laptop's camera.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it the laptop?
No, it's not.
It's this one.
Boom, right there.
Freaking amazing. I'll have you guys come every day. Unbelievable.
I don't know if it matters. If not, it's fine.
Ask the septic inspector what he's testing.
What was Sal saying?
Depends on the inspector.
Mm.
I'm gonna get them in there. Oh, they're almost done. They're filling up their plates.
We're gym rats. We're gonna eat. Thank you.
Good,
guys.
of course, of course.
I'm not gonna hold you up. Thank God they're recording this.
Yeah, like it was. There is two.
Yeah, this one. It's link as well. Just have to make sure.
Okay.
We'll talk, I want to get you.
Oh, and then let's record.
I mean, I should record already.
It is? Because we're gonna send it out to everyone. Okay. Okay. Yeah, should we get started? I mean, it's.
I think we should, it's 10:04. I mean, we're gonna be recording this anyway, so we can share it with the rest of the office later.
Absolutely.
Both our mics on?
Edit the first 4 minutes, though.
Why, is that you?
That's all of us, just,
Okay, good. Okay. Right here's the camera.
Yep, you're good.
Hello, everyone. I'm Stephen Frere with EMC. I met Cheryl at one of our closings. She attended a closing that we had for one of the agents that I had been working with, and so we kind of went over some details, and she was kind enough to invite us in. So thank you, Cheryl, for having us in, and hopefully we can grow a lot of agents' business and help them with some programs that maybe that you haven't utilized or don't know enough about to go out and try to chase some sales. Let me see, a little bit about me. So I've been in the business since I was 20 years old. I started as a real estate agent. I was a Keller Williams agent for about 10 years. And then at the same time, I became a lender. And so I would always kind of do both agent and lending side, just because it felt like I had to be protected on the lending side. There were so many times that I was kind of let down from the loan officer where things were missed, things weren't received prior to pre-approval, such as like VOEs, certain things. And so, I felt it like the only way to get things done was for me to myself to go do it myself. And so that's how I became a lender. I kind of stuck with that since I was probably late 20s to about now. And so I've been doing that ever since. I enjoy my job. I love what I do, and I'm just hoping to meet new agents and hopefully work with some new agents that would love to work with us. So today, I work for EMC, so we're a broker shop. I used to work as a retail shop where we had our own, we fund our own deals, we had our own underwriter, and each has its advantages. But what I'm finding now after being 3 years with EMC is that we now have different avenues to different brokers and different programs. And every lender has like their own overlays on, some will require a verification of rent, some will have a profit and loss statement program. And so we kind of navigate between those on, each client has their own thing, and there's always a specific client for a specific bank that we could find. And so that's a huge advantage on top of better rates. We could beat out almost anybody's rates with UWM and some of our other lenders. But I'm here today to talk about ITIN. ITINs are like a non-QM program, and what non-QM is it's other than conforming. So like you have your typical FHA, conventional Fannie Freddie, and those require tax returns, your typical pay stubs, all of that documentation. Well, non-QM is its own thing, and there's a lot of alternative documentation that we could provide. And so I'll kind of go over that stuff. But first, what is an ITIN? So a lot of people don't understand what an ITIN is. It's similar to a Social Security as it's a person who is here in the United States, they have a company, they work for a business, and they have income that they want to register and claim with the IRS, right? And so the IRS can't give them a social since they're not legal, so they'll give them an ITIN. And with that ITIN, they can file their federal income tax, pay everything through federal state returns, and now they have sort of a identity in working here in the United States. So different types of ITIN borrowers. We have wage earners, self-employed borrowers that own LLCs, S corps, just business owners, and then investors as well. So we have, and why it's huge. So what I'm seeing is like, I was kind of afraid of doing ITINs 3-4 years ago, right? Because there's always restrictions, overlays, there's always a surprise. Well, what I learned was over time, there is I kind of learned the programs from each lender on, they require, verification of rent for at least 2 years. Some of them require 12. And so over time, I learned, like, why am I doing this? It's just more stressful and stuff. Well, what I come to find out is the growth in ITIN. So, like, now I'm closing probably a couple, every month of ITIN programs, and before I would do one every 3 months. But I'm seeing more and more, and especially with our Keller Williams agents, they're like, oh, we can do ITINs, and it's a whole nother avenue of, people don't know about. And so the growth is there, it's gonna continue to grow, and something that you need to tap into for sure on taking the business to the next level. Now, the one thing I tell people, so like ITIN, people are like, is there down payment assistance program, or is there this or that? In short, no. So usually you want at least a 10, typically a 15% down for the ITIN. So you do have to have a good chunk of money, and then you're going to also want to have reserves and/or closing costs. So with the 10%, they're a lot more strict. They'll usually require 6 months reserves, of sometimes a year, depending on credit score. And then some of the factors too is like credit reports. So like you'll want to have credit depth, right? So like just because you have 700 credit scores doesn't mean you have credit depth. You can have one credit card at Kohl's open for 6 months and have 700 FICOs, but then you don't have that depth in there. And so another thing is people utilize these. What dictates down payment is primary residence. If it's an investment usually 20-25% more down payment than your primary residence, and then they do allow for first-time home buyers, so that's a huge plus. Let's see. So we went over that. So credit score, we need at least a 620 credit score. We could go down a little bit more if we have, say, 30-35% with some lenders. At 620 is kind of like our I guess key number that we most lenders are at. If we have a higher credit score, then we could do less money down. So for example, on the 10%, we usually need a 720, 740 in order to go the minimum down. As you have a higher credit score, your interest rate is actually better as well. So, I kind of give the option of, hey, we could go 10, but if you get 15, you're a point less in interest rate. So, a lot of times, when they have 70,000, they probably can come up with a little bit more, and then it just helps their payment overall. One key, two lenders we have. So say we have a wife and husband that are purchasing a home. The husband makes more than the wife. Well, we could actually use the husband's FICO score for pricing. So say this husband has a 720 credit score, the wife has a 620. We need a 620 for the minimum of the co-borrower, but we can use the higher income credit score for pricing and down and everything else. So that's a huge niche that we have on one of our lenders. See, so documentation. So this is a wide variety of things. So, of course, our bread and butter would be full documentation of tax returns. Some lenders require 2 years, some 1 year. There lacks business and/or personal, and then bank statement deals. This has been a huge in Green Valley's Keller Williams office. Is if we collect 1 year of bank statements where they've opened a personal account or a business account. We can take the average, there's a formula that goes along with it, but we can take an average of every deposit every month for the entire year. There's also 24 months as well. And so, say, they haven't been claiming more than 20,000 on their tax returns, but then we have 50,000 every month going into their bank account. Well, we're gonna end up using the deposits versus, the bank statement. So this helps, when they're not claiming enough on their tax returns. Another huge program that we've had, and we're closing 2 this month, is the profit and loss statement. So say we don't have the tax returns, we don't have the bank statements, we don't have anything. All we have is an accountant, and the accountant says, I filed their taxes, and they have a PTIN number and/or they're a CPA. So as long as they have that, they can fill out this form that is super easy to fill out, and they fill out, hey, this is how much their money's been, or their business has been generating, and then our banks will take that P&L as long as the accountant's on board with everything, and they'll take that. There's a calculation depending on the type of business it is, but they'll take that as far as income. There's nothing else needed, and that is a minimum of 15% down. So that's one of our huge programs.
Stephen, what type of businesses are the ideal type of businesses that would qualify under that P&L only program?
So the last, we had a restaurant owner, and then we had a taco truck owner, similar businesses, and then we had another one that was a cleaning business.
A lot of cash.
Yeah, a lot of cash. And so, the accountant's like, no, I've been doing their taxes. I explained the situation to them, and they've always been helpful. They're like, no, yeah, let's go ahead and I'll fill it off based on their tax returns, or they'll say, hey, well, this year, guess what? They're making a lot more money. I've went through paperwork with them, and it's kind of one of those things where like, hey, our business is improving. Let's go ahead and use a year-to-date profit and loss kind of statement.
Right.
And so that helps huge. So you go from somebody that's qualifying for 300 to 600 the next minute, as long as everything else pans out, and we have 15% down on that one. Let me see. Oh, DSCRs. So we do those type of loans under the non-QM and ITIN. A DSCR's loan is it's looking at what the property will rent for versus what the payment is. Now, depending on what down payment we have will determine what that ratio is, right? There's a formula for that. So like the 1-to-1 ratio would be, you rent it out for $3,000, the mortgage payment's $3,000. But there is a program, which is odd, where you can use a 0 rental income and $4,000 a month payment, as long as you do 25% down. So, the lender's more looking at, hey, we have a huge chunk of money down, if they fail, we don't lose kind of thing. And so it's an awesome program as well. What else? Oh, so occupancy types. So the I-10 borrowers can get a loan if they're owner occupied, investments require a little bit more money down, and then if we're going to do like a rental property, like DSCRs. So we could do long-term rentals, we could do short-term rentals like Airbnb. You can use, Airbnb has this thing where, it'll quote you how much rental income you could get, an average every year. That's something that the lenders will accept. So those are the different types of occupancies on the I-10. And so that's pretty much all I got. The other thing was I have my manager here, and we've been successful with working with Keller Williams. And so I came in 3 years ago, and they continue growing their offices. And so like when I came here to the Keller Williams Green Valley Ranch in downtown, there wasn't too many people doing I-10 loans. And so I started getting into it more and more. And now, we have different teams that are sending me like 1 or 2 deals every month of, hey, this is an I-10 borrower, can you get it done? And so, I felt that, it's something that your agents can definitely benefit from as far as like growth and a whole nother avenue of money. Some people are afraid of them, but I think the most important thing is you have a lender that has true experience under the I-10. Like there's others, on top of a regular loan, there's other things that we need to require. And I always require everything prior to pre-approval. Like we have those buyers, that, hey, I'll get it to you later, I want to go look at this house. And it's one of those things where I won't send a pre-approval until we're 100% sure, we know our income, everything. And so, we pride ourselves on, if a pre-approval goes out, we're going to get it closed. The only thing that could fall apart is appraisal, inspection, things out of our control, right? But as far as the borrower's part, we're 80, 90% done. As long as we do our homework, it's smooth sailing. And then the process is better, right? So like, they don't have to worry about, hey, well, now I need 10%, now I need 15, there's no surprises, everything's planned out. If they have to get a gift from family or whatever, we already talk about it ahead of time, how we do it. And so it's always about planning, in my opinion. I used to be the guy in my 20s, I guess, that would always be the yes guy. Like I was always like, yeah, encouraging and this and that. I've calmed down. So, I've learned, let's do our homework. Let's not be stressed out all the time. I was really stressed back then, and now, I really don't have too much stress. Like the surprises will always come, but then it's a matter of tackling it. How are we going to get it done? Think outside the box kind of thing. And so, I do have my manager, AJ. Did you want to say a few things? Or?
I did have a question. How long has that I-10 been around?
The actual I-10, I believe, I'm not sure actually, like 70s, 80s, I would assume. The government would always want their money, if,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I was reading last night, because I was preparing some things, that like a lot of people think that like it's a small market, but like over like 60 million or billion every year is actually paid from I-10 borrowers. It's a huge chunk of money that nobody really taps into, And it's one of those things where, like, you know, it's expected to be like a 23% year growth year over year. And so we're going to start seeing more and more ITINs. Yeah. But it's been going up for quite a while. So.
Well, one of the things I think helps success with those borrowers, correct me if I'm wrong, is someone like you, where you're setting the expectations up front. It might not take, 15 days like a borrower that has a 720 conventional loan, 20% down. It might take a few months to get things lined up, right?
Correct.
So setting those expectations, what you do well.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, like, I encourage agents to be part of our team. Like, I always love when an agent is like on my team, right? And we're there to get the deal closed. And so I tell them, like, hey, put some pressure on them, ask them to give me that pay stub or that missing item or whatever.
Right.
We work at it, and the other reason is, now we're starting to see a little bit shift in the market. So like, I'm seeing 2-3 offers on contracts, and then I'll hear from agent, oh, we lost on that home, and it's new news, right? The market was different 6 months ago.
Right.
And so what's helping us is, and I tell the buyers as well, is like, if we get everything ready and we're all ready to go, guess what? I could go to your realtor and say, hey, let's close in 12-15 days. Now we have an advantage. So recently we just went under contract on a home, I think it was like 420. There was an offer that was like $8,000 more than our net offer, and but they wanted to go out 30 days or 25 days, something. So I called up the listing agent. I said, hey, we're fully prepared. We already have income underwritten. Everything's ready to go. If I order a rush on this appraisal, I'll close the deal for you in 12-15 days. So we ended up closing, and all was good. But yeah, we could beat out other offers, and it's all about just being prepared, and that's one of the huge reasons you want to be prepared.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
That's your information up there?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, I don't know if you can scan it, but
One more program that I would love to talk about a little bit. We don't really close a lot of ITIN loans with a land home program, but there's loan officers out there that advertise it a lot, and it's the 3% ITIN product. I'm sure most of you guys have heard about it. We don't really close a lot of loans under this program because we don't like the fact that when the transaction closes, it doesn't close under the buyer's name. It closes under the Indian reservation that is actually lending them the money, and the way that they claim ownership on the property is through an affidavit that gets recorded. It's kind of like an addendum to the deed of trust and the warranty deed that gets recorded. When this program first came out, maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago, we spent a lot of time dissecting it, talking to our RESPA attorneys,
Right.
real estate attorneys. There's a lot of things about this program that we don't really like, and that's the main reason why we don't work with it.
Okay.
We do have access to it. It works for very, very few people, very few borrowers. But if you guys have heard about this program and you guys have questions, we would need more than an hour to go over all the details. But we'll be more than happy to answer any questions you guys have about this program. I'll leave my cell phone number with you as well. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions in regards to that. But what I'd like to close it with is what differentiates us from a lot of the loan officers. Having the real estate experience on our background, we're not just about closing one deal. We want to grow the relationship. And a lot of the realtors that we work with, they keep sending us business because we're not too concerned about our pocket. The money comes eventually if you do the right thing for the borrower and for the realtor as well, because a lot of the times you'll talk to lenders that are not willing to restructure a loan to where they're going to earn a little bit less in origination to make the deal work. They're like, well, if it doesn't work for this property, go find them another property that's going to be $15,000 less and get them under contract. If there's a way for us to make that deal work, you can be 100% sure that we're going to find a way to restructure it, to switch it over, whether it is borrower pay compensation through the correspondent warehouse line versus lender paid. We will find a way to make it work. We don't make full compensation on all the deals, even though we would love to. But
We don't either.
you guys come first, and at the end of the day, it's about helping you guys close more deals so that we can close more deals.
Perfect.
well, any other questions you guys might
Ready
have?
for you, Freddie?
So I did have a question
Yeah.
about what you guys were just talking about. So I had a deal, this was like back in like December, where like the loan had fallen through because one of my clients, she didn't really she wasn't like completely honest about her visa status, like when they were going through like the whole pre-approval process.
Yeah.
And then, like, I think it was the week we were gonna close, the bank said that they were gonna fund the loan because of
Yeah.
our visa status.
Yeah.
My lender was able to find like another bank that would, but they were gonna do it, like, it would go from conventional to like FHA. And then like, he said that like, kinda like I think what you were talking about, like it wouldn't go under their name, but it would go under like a government entity name.
That was probably the land home deal, but
Yeah.
Okay.
with visa status, I mean, you can't go FHA.
Okay.
In order to go FHA, it has to be a permanent resident or a U.S. citizen.
Gotcha.
Anything else will fall under either conventional, non-QM status, non-QM products, or ITIN. But you know, that land home product, even though it helps people get into home ownership, if you guys ever want to do a loan under that product program, I mean, we will make sure that the borrower signs all kinds of affidavits, making sure that they know exactly what it is that they're doing.
Right.
Number one, and the most important thing is making sure that they have an exit strategy.
Right.
Because this is not the type of loan or program that you want to keep them under
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
5, 10, 15 years, because you just don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Right.
You know, the laws change, the requirements for these products change regularly. I'll say maybe on a daily, weekly basis. So if they don't have an exit strategy that is doable, honestly, we just wouldn't touch it. It's a really expensive product as well, because I think they end up paying like 10% between closing cost, loan origination fees, and the 3% down payment. So it's 3% down and 7% in fees.
Yeah.
To
So it
me,
comes
that's
out to-
that's almost predatory lending.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then they're
So-
collecting the interest piece, because they're
Yes.
loaning the money, and they
Of
own
course.
the house, like that totally scares me in
And
general.
then, and then there's this 36-month prepayment penalty on them.
Oh,
So-
so you
and it-
can't do anything for
Yep,
3
nope,
days.
you can't sell, you can't refi, and if you do, you get penalized quite a bit.
Yes.
So that's why we kind of steer away from it. I mean, we have it, like AJ said, and, you know, if it'll fit a few clients here and there if we need to, but, you know, for the majority of the part, we'd like to stick with the banks that we've known that have closed deals,
Right.
you know, and, you know, but, you know, it's a case-by-case scenario, right? So,
Mhm.
as far as that work visa too, so yeah, so that's part of the preparedness. So like, you know, we work with a lot of Spanish-speaking clients, and they always have work visas, and like, that's the one thing too, is we have to ask for that, just because there's a category on it that has different types of categories, and some don't qualify.
Yeah.
Just because they have one doesn't mean, you know, and so that's one of the things that, you know, we have to get, you know, in before you go out wasting gas, especially at $4 or $5 a gallon, so.
Because my client, she had a family member who had like a work visa too.
Yeah.
Because she had gotten like qualified to get a home, like I think like a year before. And so then when we looked into it, it turns out like they had like a different category.
Right.
of
Correct.
visa.
Yeah.
So that was, yeah.
That's
We thought
normally
we were
what
gonna
kills the deals, not paying attention to the category
Right. Yeah.
type in the beginning.
So
So
that's
that
kind of our.
screwed us.
Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, I've heard horror stories on that, and so, you know, it is what it is, but like, at the end of the day, you know, experience speaks loudly, you know, and again, you know, I have the support system. He's been doing real estate longer than I have, and you know, just, you know, when we come across issues like that or situations, you know, all of us we have a group chat where we're like, hey, you know, I have an issue here, or hey, I don't know how to overcome this, and everybody just pitches in. It's truly a good team to work for. You know, I've never worked for another lender or another mortgage company where everybody actually helps each other. It's always been like their own thing, or like, you know, oh, I don't know, I don't have time, you know. But it's a real family thing, and that's why I love working with AJ and everybody from EMC. So.
Yeah, right now, even though we have a little bit over 1,000 loan officers nationwide in 47 states, locally I have a team of 32 loan officers, some of them with more than 40 years of experience in the lending industry. I mean, you have been doing this for almost 30 years, maybe even more, I don't know.
24, tell you
24?
I'm not that old.
Okay.
But,
You know, so altogether, it's over 100 years of experience here locally. I mean, I've been doing this for over 25 years as well. So lots of experience behind us, and we all collaborate whenever we have a deal that is a little bit out of the conventional way. You know, all of us brainstorm to make it work. So
yeah.
you might see the pretty face right here of Steven, but you know, it's a lot of us behind you know, every single tough deal that we close.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So any other
Any other
questions?
questions?
Thank you, guys.
No, thank you. And what we'll do is we're
Good
gonna go ahead and
resource
send
for
out
you,
this
right?
video.
Yeah,
You know,
you
feel
should
free
get
to
his
watch
card.
it. If you guys have questions, my scan QR code's there. I'll also give AJ's phone number if anybody wants to talk to him. He's doing a whole awesome program that I'll let him get into dual licensing where you could be an agent and a loan officer.
Well, that's something we'll talk to you.
Yeah, and so like,
Not
you
the
know.
time, but yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, of course, AJ. And so, yeah, no, thank you guys there, you know, and questions, just, you know, give us a call. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Stephen, thank you so
Of
much.
course, thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Of course.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like six other people that.
You guys do work with just.
Right, yeah.
Do I this?
Yeah.
See, yeah.
Well, I just.
Mándale de Panama, yeah.
Everybody has
AJ,
clients
Joseph.
that don't have
Yeah,
relationships
nice to meet
with
you,
them.
man.
For sure. I'm gonna turn the light on here.